Good evening. Pharmacists across Alberta are frustrated with the government's latest cuts to generic prescription drugs. Here in the region, concerns are being raised about the future of independent community pharmacies. Kim Smith has local reaction.
This is to the point where this is survival of a community pharmacy.
Pharmacists are protesting changes to provincial budget cuts that they say will hurt businesses and forces them to cut patient services. One area pharmacist says there's been little time to prepare for the cuts.
So the only thing to do is either cut hours, cut staffing, cut wages. You have to take care of all your expenses because the income we had has dramatically dropped.
The province is reducing the cost coverage of generic drugs from 35% to 18%. By cutting generic drug prices in half, the Alberta government is expected to save about $85 million a year. Craig Brown says he's owned his pharmacy in Vermilion for over 20 years, but he questions its future.
Who's going to be there to provide the care for my friends and neighbors in my community when I'm gone? Because another pharmacist won't buy it and take care of those people for another 30 years if the business itself doesn't make a profit.
While many pharmacists support the government's move to lower generic drug prices, Brown says the province should have better consulted with them.
We have something to say. We have some input. As stakeholders, we believe we could save the government money if they would only listen.
Pharmacists are being given a month-long reprieve on cuts to most generic drugs. Kim Smith, Newcap News.
With the signs of spring around the corner, may mean bad news for those with allergies. Snow mold may be popping up on lawns around the region. Bart Padiasic finds out how it could affect you and how you can get rid of it.
This is the culprit. As lawns clear in the border city, snow mold starts to rear its head.
Forms is as the snow melts, the grass can't get air circulation to it, so a little fine layer of mold will form.
Wickham says the best way to avoid the mold is to start in the fall, before the snow even comes.
You have to make sure your lawn is cleaned up, meaning with debris. Mow your lawn, leaves, because leaves will form a layer, and then you'll get snow mold forming in there.
And for those with allergies, it could cause some irritation.
It can cause a cold, it can cause runny nose, watery eyes, bags under the eyes, itchy throat, rarely constipation, poor appetite.
But Saeed says it's easy to find relief.
There's lots of over-the-counter medications that are available. You can pick them up. It's called Claritin or Arius. You don't need a prescription for it. Usually if you take them, the symptoms disappear.
But how do you get rid of it? Wickham suggests it's time to pull out the old rake.
The best way to get rid of it is go out there and rake it up. But you don't want to do that at this time of year right now because it's too wet still and there's too much snow still.
It's also recommended to wear a mask and gloves when handling the mold. Bart Padiasic, Newcap News.